You might remember this. I won't ever give you the correct answer.
Yeah, I know. You pissed
Eventually.
me off. Of course I remember. Not every tutor is going to fit you. My mental health kind of first year, freshman year, kind of took a shot. Whether you're happy or sad, the day is going to keep going by. You got to just trust yourself and keep moving forward with it.
All right. So I will. We have known each other for how many years now? 3 years, I think, right?
Like 3.5 or
Three
something.
and a half years. So, welcome to Mind Matters. This is a podcast by Seven Square Learning, and you're actually our first guest on this podcast so far. So, thank you so much for accepting our gracious invite. Let's actually begin with a little bit of an introduction and some background about you.
All right. Yeah, my name's Will. I used to be a ACT student of
Uh-huh.
politics back in high school. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. I play tennis and have two dogs and a cat who I love, two
Nice.
sisters, and now I'm studying cybersecurity and business management at Syracuse University up in New York. So that's my basic intro.
That's awesome. What are the names of the dogs, by the way?
We got a black lab named Harley, and then we have a Pomeranian named Hazel.
That's awesome. Do they live with you or are they back in your home?
No, they're back home with the
Back in.
fam.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So, Will, as I think I informed you earlier, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be engaging in a very sort of unscripted conversation, but also at the same time, we're going to be playing a couple of games together to engage and talk a little bit about not only your background and your growth as a person in the last few years, but also what are the different challenges you faced while you were transitioning from high school to college, and some of the things related to student mental health, and also how you think we as a society can contribute to making education more affordable and more accessible to students all around the world, right? And you were one of my sort of like shining star students, so
Thank
you
you, thank
received
you.
like, right, the kind of, I think, the quality of tutoring and the quality of education that a lot of people like us in general can afford. We are sort of the privileged ones, right? So one of the goals of us doing these sort of activities is to sort of raise awareness about how education is extremely important for everyone. The world is evolving every single day, so we need to catch up with that, and we need to create better systems so that more people can get the quality of education that most of people like us can get. And at the same time, I think student mental health is something that has become a big issue lately, right? And I'm sure that you would have people around you as well talking to you about this particular thing, opening up to you, right? You yourself would have faced a few challenges in your life, right, regarding that. So we'll touch
Yeah.
a few points regarding that. But before we get to that, there's this really interesting segment called the Wheel of Funtune that we do, right?
All
So what
right.
we're gonna do is we're gonna spin a wheel, and whatever segment it stops at, we're gonna be doing that segment. Sounds good?
Sounds good. Yeah.
So I'm gonna share my screen, and at your instruction, I'll spin the wheel. Okay.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. Let's spin it. All right. Never have I ever. Do you know about this game?
Yeah,
Right.
I've dabbled in it.
So, well, just a disclaimer, this is not going to be a drinking game. This is going to
No,
be
sure, sure.
right? So basically, the format is going to be such that I'll say, never have I ever done something. And if you have experienced that, we'll talk about it. If you haven't, we'll move on to the next question, right?
Sounds good.
All right. Let's begin with an easy one. Never have I ever questioned what I was told to believe.
Yeah, no, I definitely have like not as much in like a school background, but in like a religious background. Some every religion has their own different beliefs, and some seem like more like far fetched or like crazy. How did that happen? Than others. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think definitely I've questioned it to some extent throughout my life.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think that's a big part of learning as well, right? That you ask and the right questions, and when you do, you sort of critically analyze a problem, and you force the other people who you're asking that question to also to critically analyze in their own heads, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. We use that a lot as a tutor, by the way, right? Like, we would keep on. I think you might remember this. I won't ever give you the correct answer. I would simply lead you. Like, I'll keep on asking you questions, and then
Yeah, I know, you pissed
eventually,
me off. Of course I remember.
yeah. Well, I'm glad I did. It worked, right?
Yeah,
So
it did work.
awesome. All right, let's move on to another one. This is a little funny. Never have I ever crammed on a test and still got an A
Oh, sure, all the time.
all the time.
Especially if it's like a stay-at-home test,
Uh-huh.
like, where I can use my computer and there's like I don't have to be in class. Yeah, all the time, especially in college because it's different.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. I also do it all the time. In fact, like I don't give tests anymore, but I am such a huge procrastinator myself that I would push a lot of the tasks that I have due to the 11th hour unless it's like extremely urgent. And one benefit that I've seen is that it makes you very efficient. Like you get used to doing things very quickly. But obviously, it also
But a
causes a
lot
lot of
of
stress.
times you don't have time to check it over and stuff, and you get like
Yeah.
a lot of mistakes are made. I found, but sometimes you get lucky.
It has its own pros and cons, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Last one. This is more related to mental health. Never have I ever doubted my self-worth.
Yeah, all the time. I think everybody has, honestly. Like there's ups and downs in life, and
Mhm.
the downs you start to question it, but you got to keep your head up at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Whether you're happy or sad, the day is going to keep going by, and if you spend all
Mhm.
your time questioning stuff, you can't be productive, so you got to just trust yourself and keep moving forward with it.
Have you ever had any experiences where you sort of had to convince yourself that, look, this is the place where I am and I have like enough belief in myself? And you sort of had to like force yourself to believe that because that belief was going away and you could see that happening. So you had to keep yourself sane.
I mean, yeah, especially when growing up playing tennis with kids who were like,
Yeah.
way bigger and stronger than me, and
I
baseball
thought you would
too.
mention tennis. Yeah.
Yeah, baseball and tennis because I was always like a skinny little kid. So these
Uh-huh.
when I as I like got older, these kids would go like crazy on me, and I was like, well, am I really built for this? But then I just keep
Yeah.
kept my head up, kept grinding, and in the end of the day, it all works out.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right, let's move on to our next segment, right? Let's spin the wheel again and let's see what we get, right?
All right,
Hangman. Nice. All right, this is going to be interesting. I'll just share another window. Okay, cool. So you've played this game before, right?
sure, sure.
Okay, so you know what to do,
Yeah,
right?
I do.
Okay, so just tell me the letter that you want to guess
Is there like
and
a
we'll see.
specific category, or are we just
It's kind of generalized. Like let's keep it, let's say that it's current events or related to tutoring, right?
okay?
There are three words. So this is the first one.
All right, I'll take an E.
E.
Oh,
Well, your head is off.
an A.
A. All right.
Let's go with feeling an R.
R.
Oh, all right. What
Damn.
about S?
S.
Oh,
Ah,
I'm
you're
not doing
losing
too
your
well.
limbs, man.
I.
Okay. Nope. You
Oh,
have
what
two
is
more
it?
chances.
T.
T. Okay. Right, so you have two
Okay.
T's. Think about it. Think about it. This is something very recent and something very trending right now.
Trending right now.
I'll give you a hint. More than 1 million users in 1 week.
Million users in 1 week. I have no clue. Is it? I'm obviously not very kept up on the news,
I think I
but
think some of our listeners might already know what I'm talking about.
Oh no, I might need another word. I'll take an N.
N.
Yeah.
I guess you have one more chance remaining for this.
Go O.
Dude,
Chat GB.
Chat
I've never
GPT.
heard of that.
You've ne-
Never
are
heard
you
of
kidding
that.
me? You've never heard of Chat GPT. Okay. This is
No.
gonna blow your
Oh,
mind.
you know what? Actually, now that I think about
Uh-huh.
it, somebody just told me like literally 2 days ago about it.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you're a
It
college
was
student. I think this is becoming really popular amongst college
yeah,
students. So
no, I just heard about it. They're starting to crack down at it on it here though.
yeah. I mean, just as a disclaimer to everyone, we do not recommend students to use ChatGPT for anything except brainstorming. Like the way I think this is revolutionary. Personally, I'm a huge tech fan and tech enthusiast, and like the first time I used ChatGPT, it just blew my mind away. Like, have you actually used it
No,
at
I
all?
didn't know it existed till 2 days ago.
Wow, you gotta give it a shot, man. Like right after this call, like just try something out. It's amazing. Like you can ask it anything and it's gonna give a very humanistic response to it.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's move on to our next word.
All
This
right.
is also very relevant, and I'll give you a hint if you lose half of your body parts in this picture. Let's begin with the first letter.
All right. Let's go with A. Start off with a vowel.
Okay.
All right. So E.
E.
S.
S. Okay.
All right. T.
Hmm. I'll give you a hint. This is something we used to talk about a lot during our tutoring sessions.
Video games.
And we used to talk about video games, but no, this is more academic and not League of Legends.
R.
R. You have three more chances.
Man. N. That's not helpful. I'll go with D though.
Two more remaining.
H.
One more.
It's not handshake.
It's
That
not
would be
what?
like some jobs. Like M.
M.
Back
No,
solving.
back
Yeah.
solving. You remember this?
Vaguely, I
Wait,
remember it.
can you like in your own words, can you explain this for whoever is listening to this?
It was basically just instead of taking all the time to read the question, you would look at the answers and then you would
Uh-huh.
start to like eliminate the ones that just couldn't possibly be correct. And then
Yeah.
either that would usually leave you with like two or just like only one answer possibility.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a combination of, like what you explained is a combination of process of elimination and back solving. But back solving specifically was to look at the answer choices, plug them back into the question, which is why the word back solving, right? So
Yeah.
whenever you had numbers in the answer choices, you would just plug them back into the equation and then solve for it, right? Long time
Yeah.
ago. But this next one, I think you'll get the next one for sure.
All right. Let's start with same thing. Let's go E.
E. All right.
A.
Nice.
L.
Nice.
Ooh. S.
S. Okay.
Let's go M.
Hmm.
Damn, I started off so hot.
I think
O.
you'll still feel it. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
Three
N.
more strikes. N. All right. Well, two of those.
Oh. Okay, I gotta get this.
Yeah. You're so close.
Go with the I.
Good choice. Come on, you should have it by now.
Oh, Valentine, right?
Valentine. There you go. Today's date, right? 14th Feb.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Valentine. Nice. So, well, since this is the topic, well, first of all, what does this day mean to you? And also, considering that you're in college, is there something specific related to college experience, for Valentine, like a college student and Valentine's Day? that
Oh,
you
sure.
want to share?
Rule one: stay off of social media. Honestly, this is for all like the single guys on Valentine's Day. Stay off social media.
Dude, I
That's
wish I
the
knew that
big
earlier.
one. See a lot of couples walking around in college, so just keep your head up, grind your workout still, treat yourself. I'm probably gonna get a six pack of beer and a Jersey Mike sub to round
Nice.
off my night, hang with the boys, and it'll be
Yep.
a good night. And hey, you look at this. Last year, I spent up like $300 on this day, so that's an extra 300 I have in my
Learning
bank
from,
account this year.
yeah, gotta save that money.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm gonna take some of those tips myself, So all right, let's move on to our next segment,
All
right?
right.
Okay. So back to the fun tune wheel. Let's back to never have ever. Let's move on. Another one. Trivial Pursuit. So
Trivia. I'm terrible
yeah,
at
it's basically trivia. Do you want to do trivia or do you want to do like something else here? Like,
No, I mean it landed on it, so let's give it a
all
go.
right, let's do it. Let's do a trivia. Okay.
I'm
All right, I'll
I'm
I'll
here
start
for
with the
whatever.
easy one.
All
I,
right.
I I'll say it is easy, but I'm not, let's see. What goes up but never comes down?
Your age.
Your age, yeah. See, I knew this is pretty
That's a
easy.
classic. That's a classic.
Yeah, that's a classic. All right. Imagine you're in a dark room with a match and a candle, a gas stove, and a gas lamp. What do you light first?
So you have a match, a
You have a
candle,
match, a
a
candle, a
gas.
gas stove, and a gas lamp. And you're in a dark room and it's cold out there, right? And
Yeah,
you're not wearing any jacket or something. So what's the first thing that you want to light?
a fire.
A match. The match, right? The match is the first thing that you're gonna fire.
I didn't know if that was like an actual riddle or just common
Yeah,
sense.
well, that is a riddle. That's the riddle. Okay, let's try something more. I wanna try something about general knowledge. I think you'll know
All
this
right.
one. Who
Okay.
wrote the famous novel To Kill a Mockingbird?
Oh, don't do me like that.
You've read that in high school, right? I think
Sure,
this is a
sure. In
popular.
like eighth grade, I read To Kill a
Yeah,
Mockingbird.
exactly.
Oh, this is not a good look for me. I have no clue. I'm gonna like know it once I hear the name, and I'll be like, I
Yeah,
should have gotten that.
I'll give you a hint. It's the author's name starts with H,
Each.
and the
Say the
last name
first name
starts with
starts
N.
with. No, not ringing any bells.
Harper Lee. That's the name. Remember
I
him?
would never gotten that. No, I've never heard
Yeah.
that name before.
All right. Who painted Mona Lisa? Come on, you should know this.
Oh, Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah. All
That
right.
one I
Last
know.
one. Last one. I'm gonna come make this one up because some of these I'm actually looking at on my screen. What is the smallest state in the US?
Is it like size wise or like people
Size
wise?
wise. Yeah, like area wise.
Rhode Island, right?
Rhode Island? Yep,
That
that
is,
is
yeah,
correct.
that's my final. Okay, I was gonna
Yeah,
say
yeah. All
if
right.
I don't know that,
Well,
we have a problem.
there you go. Okay. So that was trivia. I think that's gonna be it for our different segments. So we limit this to three segments. I wanna get a little bit of your opinion regarding some serious topic that we all care deeply about at Seven Square Learning. So are you ready for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So today, I want to talk about student mental health and also
Okay.
talk a little bit about your own journey, your own experiences as you've grown, as a student, as a person. So first of all, just open conversation around what student mental health means to you and how you think, we as a society need to address this issue.
Um, I think it means a lot to me, especially because like
Mhm.
as a college student, it like my attitude, like my mental health kind of first year, freshman year, kind of took a shot, just like being
Mhm.
away from home and like that safety pad kind of wears down on you. So I think it's definitely important to be open about it because if you're not, it's gonna make you feel worse. And
Yeah.
I think nowadays a lot of people do like know where to go and are open, but a lot of people don't. And so I
Mhm.
think, you need to normalize like having like resources like nearby for free access just to like at college we have something called pet therapy where you can just
Yeah.
go and like, play with dogs, which
Yeah.
helps, and there's like a mind spa or whatever. And so I think just having like the free resources and like e- educating people on where to go for them is really important. But most of all, like being open about it because nobody should shame you for
Yeah.
having dealing with mental health. So
Yeah.
I think that's an important thing.
And me being in India, I think like there's a huge cultural difference as well amongst different countries. Even when I was in the US, so I grew up in a culture where mental health wasn't taken like we have a lot more awareness today. But when I was in college, my first day in college, my first day in the US, that was a totally different culture for me. And I remember like, in my third year and fourth year, I was having a lot of issues to deal with. I was actually going through depression during that time. And I remember having a lot of resources provided by my university, Iowa State University, during that time, which really helped me out. Like, and I honestly, I cannot imagine how I would have been able to handle that time without having these resources available to me, whether it's having free counseling sessions or having professors who understand that you require a few accommodations as a person if you're in a certain state of mind, right? And it's not just something that you can just show off, or just you cannot just say to people that don't feel this way, right? Or try to feel
Yeah.
that way, right? that doesn't
Hmm.
that doesn't really work. So
No, exactly.
yeah, I think that point you made about awareness is really the crux, and that's kind of what we are also trying to do as a brand, through these podcasts and through a bunch of different initiatives. So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I also think it's just like it needs to be like there are a lot of resources, but I think they need to be kind of more like normalized. Like I think when
yeah,
people see like people utilizing those resources, they associate it with like, oh, that kid, like that person's depressed. But like
yeah,
I've gone to like pet therapy and I'm like happy. I just wanted to play with dogs. Like it's
exactly.
not necessarily like a solution, but it's like just a preventative thing, like
Yeah. And that is actually so applicable in so many other places, right? Like once you start normalizing certain things, the society, as a society, I think we start sort of ingraining those things inside ourselves, right? We become used to a certain type of culture, and those social stigmas around certain things, the stereotypes, they start going away because of that, right? And being open about it, reaching out to people regarding things, I think that's the first step, always talking about things. And like you said, not really going or approaching it in the manner that this is something that we need to address, but it's something that's like normal. Yeah, like this happens and we are, like it's, so I think
yeah.
that's important. It's awesome. All right. So, lastly, any parting thoughts on your academics, your growth, your personal story so far, and how tutoring helped you, how one-on-one tutoring helped you reach where you are? Maybe some of that, right? Any of the stuff that you want to comment on?
Yeah. One-on-one tutoring has both helped. I've had different one-on-one tutors throughout my life, and I think it's important to, there's not every tutor is going to fit you. Like I've had tutors that I've just hated, and then I've had like you who helped me a lot on the numbers speak for themselves. But I think it's important, you don't be afraid to say like, I think tutors like a lot of them will understand and they shouldn't take offense if like, oh, you're not like a great fit for me. I'm sure you're fine for
Mhm.
somebody else, but like I need somebody like, we started off like our first session. I didn't really talk at all unless I was
Yeah.
forced to, and then we found like a common interest and like video games and tennis
Exactly.
and stuff like that. And from then on, it was like, I didn't mind going to tutoring sessions. I did mind the 5 hours of homework you gave me each week, but as far as
I
doing
reduced your homework to I think 1 hour, half hours. I think after your first test. So come on, like you're
yeah,
scaring away
no,
my
but
future.
yeah, definitely it's important to find like, and not just tutors, like resources that works for you. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their own fit. You might have friends who you think you like originally. Like I remember I got to college and everybody doesn't know anybody, so you're desperate to kind of like find friends. So I had like this temporary friend group,
Mhm.
and only one of those kids is like ended up being my friend up until now. So, just like you don't have to rush anything, but accumulate over time like different people that you can build like a foundation with and who will be there for you and stuff. Don't just jump into something because you think like because don't think you have to. Don't, especially in college,
Mhm.
don't jump into something because it's what everybody else is doing. Live your life and trust that like you're doing the right thing. Don't stress about it too much.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I think like it's important to realize the importance of college, but also it's important to sort of um, take it casual because sometimes if you put too much pressure around yourself, you might actually do the opposite and make the experience
Yeah,
a little stressful rather than it being like fun and amazing. So
yeah,
important
exactly.
advice. Yeah, I'll make sure to say this to all of my students who are about to go to college. I think that's going to be important for them to know.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Any like special experiences you've had at Syracuse specifically?
Special experiences. I pledged a fraternity last semester, which was
Oh,
had its
nice.
ups and downs. But now we're good. Had a relationship. Had a breakup. It's
Yeah.
all the check boxes of college. Go
Yep.
out, party, do my work. You know, trying to keep the old relationships from high school still. You know, do it. Just yeah. There's certainly been some experiences,
Nice.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a good like overall. Looking like at my past year and a half so far, like it's a good experience for sure.
That's good to hear. Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. I'll be looking forward to, seeing you again and again, as you keep on progressing and as you keep on, I think, growing as a person. And also, I think a lot of your stories, I'm sure you're going to have some interesting ones to share, right? So,
Yeah, hey
um,
man, I mean, we could do a part two to this where I just rant on about
for sure, for sure.
make a nice little bonus track.
Definitely, definitely. The even more unscripted version of this podcast, right? So,
Uncensored. Yeah.
uncensored version of the podcast, for sure, definitely. Cool. All right. Well, this has been great. I think it was great catching up with you in the first place. And then, like a lot of these experiences that you shared, I think would be super helpful for so many people out there. And also for me as a tutor as well, it's great to be interacting with, students like you who sort of it's a testimony. It gives me a lot of confidence and a lot of incentive, right? That I'm helping students reach a certain level and like that's really important for any tutor, not just me, right? So thank you for that. That
Sure.
really helps. And yeah, let's stay in touch and you know we'll reach out to you once this podcast is everywhere, right?
Yeah, no, please do. I want to listen to it.
Yeah, well, we'll
I
make
want
you
to see. I want
famous.
to hear how I actually sound.
My name's Leon. I go to the Bryn Mawr School for Girls. It's a private school in Baltimore, Maryland. And I did end up getting into the college that I want to go to, so I'm very happy about that.